And there's also prolactin, which is called the nurture hormone. And this kind of helps with breastfeeding with the women. So already that connection is there. They go through hormonal changes. Men, although we don't go through hormonal changes, we go through hormonal shifts, right? So we actually get a decrease in testosterone and a slight increase in prolactin, right? Now, do you know how crazy that is, right? So for a man, your testosterone gets decreased just so that you can bond, because the child is so delicate.
Good morning, good evening, good everything. My name's Chrysalis and welcome back to my podcast, Searching for Myself. Now, guys, if you haven't been here already, remember to subscribe, listen to us, watch us on YouTube, subscribe to us on that, and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So I got a special guest with me. He's amazing. He's my cousin, so it's the first family one. And the topic that we're going to talk about is all things fatherhood. But my guest, who's incredible, is right here, Mr. John.
Thank you so much, Chris.
How are you, bro?
I'm not bad, you know. Listen, that intro, I like your intro, honestly. Like the way you just subtly brought it in. Like I like
Bro,
that. But yes, my name is ftJeanphiness. Family call me ftJeanphiness. But people who know me, it's Jean. It's spelled Jean, so people mistake it how they do. So, hey, what can I say?
What can you say, man?
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be on your podcast. You know, we have a few nice, interesting topics to talk about. Something that's, I guess, dear to me. But I want to talk about this.
Let's get into it, man. Honestly, because listen, the topics of all things fatherhood is a lot. And the reason why we chose this topic is not many, I feel like we have a lot of experienced people talking about motherhood. And obviously that's important. But I think sometimes fatherhood, sometimes it gets neglected. And I feel like it's important for fathers' voices to be heard and what is expected for those who are fathers or desiring to be fathers in the future. So long story short, we obviously, like I said, we talk about fatherhood, but we're going to talk about mental health in regards to fatherhood, as well as the identity which comes with fatherhood, you know, the new transition identity, accountability, and just different forms of responsibility. But first, let's get into, firstly, actually, I'm so sorry. John's the father.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Tell us about, oh my gosh.
Oh,
Tell us about my nephew.
I've been a father for what? Probably a year and 2 months now. So it's 14 months or something. It's incredible. Like, Chris, honestly, yeah, it's not something I can explain in words. Like, it's a feeling that you honestly have to just, you have to feel, you have to like go through being a father to understand what it takes. No matter what people will tell you, your parents will tell you, this is how it goes, etc. When you actually get into it and you have your own kid, it's a whole journey. But I'm enjoying fatherhood, honestly. Like I rave about being a dad.
Yeah, man.
That is my thing. I literally base my whole personality about being a father. So yeah, it's amazing.
No, I can see it. And Levi, oh my gosh. Listen, you know when some people are like, oh yeah, my babies are so cute. And you see a photo.
Everyone
and
thinks
you're
their
just
baby's
like,
the cutest. Rightly
yeah,
so.
right? But Levi, oh my gosh, stunning. Like that baby should be a model. Like other baby's got nothing on Levi.
Yeah, we're considering
Honestly.
that. We're actually considering that. But
Listen.
There's dangers obviously in
oh yeah,
putting your kid out there at such a young age. And yeah, but we are considering that. He is very cute. I can't lie to you. Every time we step out, he gets praise. People come up, especially other dads.
Yeah.
Like, other dads,
wow.
even not men in general.
Okay.
Women, he knows. Like, because my son, he's a ladies guy. Like,
Come on.
he melts whenever women are around him. But he's a bit more apprehensive when it comes to guys. But yeah, it's amazing, honestly.
Wow, sir.
journey.
Wow. That's so beautiful. So let's get into in terms of mental health with fatherhood. So I got statistics actually. So 1 in 10 new fathers experience postpartum depression or anxiety. Only a fraction seek help due to stigma or lack of awareness. Yeah. So wow, I felt when I actually saw that, I was like, that's quite a powerful statement because you don't really think of like you know, that in a sense. And when you even think about like the mental health struggles and what it looks like, the common experience was sleep deprivation, loss of identity, sense of purpose, financial stress, and feeling disconnected from the baby, relationship tensions or isolation. Yeah. Some fathers will feel like, am I doing enough? Or I can't mess this up, or I feel alone, but I can't tell anybody. So bro, tell us, because you've been through it in terms of having a new kid. Yeah. You know, I can imagine like when you don't have a child, your time is your own.
Yep.
And obviously you're married, so you attend to your wife also. My cousin, shout out to Sharika.
Go for it.
But yes, how did you feel like having obviously your beautiful child, new addition to the family, but in terms of having sleep deprivation, that new kind of routine that you had to develop, did you feel like it took a toll maybe on your mental health, or did you how did that go?
The topic of mental health, now that's something that's, I'm not gonna say it's foreign, because like as Africans, when it comes to mental health, it's not really something that's spoken about enough. Really, it's more, especially depending where you grew up or how you grew up. Your parents normally push, like, don't worry, like, go to church,
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about the mental side of things, because in their generation, they didn't have the vast of information that we have now. So mental health probably wasn't a thing. But to be honest, everything you said on that list, literally, I've gone through it. It's like every single thing you've gone through it. But the way I handle it is, which is bad, is that mental health is important, especially in fatherhood.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it's not a high priority for me. Which it sounds mad to say.
Yeah,
it sounds crazy to say, but it's not high priority only because I have an amazing support system, right? So the people around me, my friends, mentors, family, cousins, like, I have friends I can fall back on. I have friends I can be vulnerable with. And luckily, I may be the first one in my family to, get married and have a kid, etc. But I have friends who also have kids, and just connecting with them makes me feel like, wow, we're at a generation, right, at a stage where this is what we're doing now. Where we're them ones who are having kids, and how do we do it? And we get through it together. So it's important, though. It's definitely, it's something that I will probably get to. But in terms of mental health, obviously having a support system is a form of, tackling that or handling that.
Yeah.
But if you're telling me, like, therapy or resources and stuff, it's something that I'm a bit apprehensive at the moment, because I feel like I have control of what I'm doing and I know where I'm at which stage. If I was to go therapy, I fear it will open a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to deal with certain things at the moment.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
Wow, that's
But
deep.
don't get twisted, it is very important. It is very important.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's real. That's real. It's definitely interesting, because I do feel like in terms of sleep deprivation, I always wonder, how do people actually cope with that? Your baby who sleeps, sometimes I always hear stories that, he slept 3 hours during the night this time, and that's pretty good. I'm like, what? Like,
no,
good?
that's average. I always say the first 4 months is war. Like, the first 4 months, sometimes you feel like it's you and your partner versus the kid.
Wow, that's real.
It's
No one
you,
talks about that.
because you have to be united. Like, first of all, the woman, like, she will go through a ton of stuff, and that's emotional, mental, all of that. So you need to now be able to support, because they go through things internally. We go through things externally. We're like supporting them through this process. You have to be there to pick them up when they can't. Just know, most women who are going through this, if they don't have a good support system, they're running on 3 hours of sleep, like, average. Like 4 hours of sleep. The first 2 months, all the baby sleeps, poops, wakes up, cries. And that's why I say the first 2-3 months is tough.
Yeah.
But once you get to the 4 months mark, Chris, that first smile, that first feedback, that's what it is. It's feedback for all the hard work, the sleepless nights you've done. All you want is a bit of feedback to solidify that, okay, we're doing a good job.
Because you know what? Shout out to babies, but I feel like when they're a little blob, it's just like, oh my days, like, you're just like having milk and just grabbing and crying, and you're living rent free. So why are you crying?
Yeah, that's all they do, literally.
But I said to my friend, what's it like having a kid? Is it like looking after your younger sibling? And they just looked at me like I was a crazy person. They're like, Chris, no. I was like, oh, okay. Because obviously I'm 1 hour sit, so I changed many nappies, I changed this and the other, but they said it's completely different.
It's interesting you say that, because my what I used to pull from was me. Obviously, I'm the oldest in my family, so I've been through raising my younger sisters, my brothers, and I used to think, like, it's normal, like changing nappies, it's gonna be similar. It's not. because when I was, I guess, raising my siblings in a way, I'm not primary. That's mum and dad. Like the responsibility falls back on them. Whereas with my child, anything that happens, it falls back on us. So you have to be like, you lose sleep because you want to make sure that everything is okay. And if your partner isn't okay, you yourself, you're not going to feel 100%. So yeah, it's not the same as siblings.
What advice would you give to those who are new dads and how would they support their partner? Obviously, like postpartum depression for women, it's a real thing. Not in our cousin's case, but I'm saying like in general for certain women, they go through that. So how do you make sure that their mental health is stable and be there for their child and be there for yourself? And how did you make sure that the mental health remains balanced?
I think this comes down to like, how seriously do you take being a parent? Like it's a serious thing. Like, for example, people that be like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna have a kid. We're just gonna have a kid. That's crazy.
That's mad.
Like, that's crazy, because the miracle of us having the ability to procreate, right? Her going through pregnancy, labor, delivery, like, it's not guaranteed that she will make it or the child will make it. So put some respect and like value on the whole act of having kids and raising a kid, guiding a kid. It's important. It's something that I hold very value. And if you think of it in that regards, you're not going to play around with having to do extra research to make sure that you have the knowledge to raise this child, or, you know, making sure you're going to appointments, like helping your partner with looking out for signs that may come up. You know, stuff like that. Like, you don't have to be told. It's something that instinctively you'll start to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a word. Listen. Listen, come on, man. Let's get it together. Let's, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, because anyone could create, as the Jamaican shout to Jamaicans will say, a picnic. But not everyone will step up to be a dad or father. So how did your identity shift becoming a father in terms of your sense of identity and purpose?
So I always say this, since I was 19, I'll say 19, 20, I always had a vision, right? It's crazy. I always had a vision. I said, by the time I turn 26, I'm going to cut out the BS. I'm going to settle down. God's going to provide me with a beautiful wife. I'm going to get married, have a family, build my empire, build my kingdom. I've always had this vision since I was young. And I always knew at a certain point I have to distance myself from my friends and everything and just lock in. And then once I have that system, that's all that matters to me. That's how my identity changed. And Chris, like, everything I envisioned came to pass.
That's
like
amazing.
Exactly how down to the T, even down to career. Like, you know, I've recently transitioned into the tech field, and even down to where I'm working and how I want to be and portray myself. Like, all of that came to pass. And in terms of identity, there's certain women that, for example, they don't want their identity to be diluted down to just, you're just a mother. Because they're not. I'm not just a mother. I'm also an architect. I'm also a lawyer. I'm also a business owner. Whereas for me, if someone was to tell me, oh, you're just a father, that's the biggest compliment you can give me. Like, for me personally, because like, it's such a blessing to be a dad, to have someone look up to you with their glistening eyes when they're crying or they want something, and it's now my responsibility to help them, to guide them, the next generation of human beings. Like, you have the power. That's what we're here for. So I already had that seriousness from before. So I already knew, this is something I'm gonna do, and I'm just happy like, God's plan came exactly how I wanted it. And that also boosts my confidence. Because sometimes, you know, there'll be times where you think, am I doing the right thing? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing in life? Like, what's my purpose, etc. When situations like that happen, where your vision becomes clear, that's what I have to draw back on, knowing that, I'm supposed to be here. Do you know what I mean? And that makes me happy.
Wow. And it's interesting you said that, because unfortunately, some people have the opposite perspective in terms of they kind of like grieve their past identity,
Yeah.
you know, because now they have that additional responsibility, having like a kid, they can't go out to Ibiza clubbing and all that stuff.
Oh
do you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Oh,
So it's kind of like
I still miss those days as well. I can't lie. It's not, of course, like you want to be able to do certain things, of course, but your son, your daughter will be priority, and as they grow up, you can all do things as a family.
No, most definitely, most definitely. So in a sense, in that sense, because I think that's so beautiful. Do you feel that, like you said, it's giving you a newfound purpose, and a newfound freedom? Do you see a lot of yourself, how you was parented as a kid?
Yeah.
And do you do the same to Levi, like how you was parented? Or are you more like less? Are you the strict parent? Are you less strict?
No.
What type of?
My partner, she'll tell you, she'll tell you, I'm the relaxed one.
Okay.
She's very logical in terms of analytical, in terms of how things need to be done. She makes sure she writes down everything, the appointments, all of that stuff. I'm more relaxed, but my presence is there, you know.
Good.
And the way I think it's kind of how my parents were. My mum was quite stoic, or she is very stoic. She's very like a knife through butter. That's my mum, you know. And my dad, my late dad, he was very emotional in the sense that when he's happy, he's joyful. Like when he's angry, he's angry. When he's upset, like he feels emotions.
Yeah.
And I guess I drew both sides from my parents and kind of found a way to be myself in both of them. I have attributes of both of my parents, and I guess that's kind of a parenting style that I have. You can't both be strict, because kids were manipulators, right? Like my son knows, he knows what to get from which parent, and he's only 14 months old.
Wow,
you know.
That's the wow. So I was gonna ask, in terms of identity, how do you view your wife now? Like in terms of the identity, her as a motherhood, like has it fully done a 360? Like has there been a new form found? Obviously you respected her, but a new found of respect, and be like, right, like you're actually like, you're just superwoman. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think she has, honestly, like, shout out to single mothers, because how they do it, I don't know. But my wife, she literally gives herself up for this child, which is interesting, because I remember years ago, there was a girl that I used to know, well, I still know, but she must have made a comment saying that, and I'm interested to see your take on this, but she said men are incapable of giving unconditional love to their kids.
Wild.
Yeah, that's what she said back then.
Does she?
She has a kid.
She has a kid.
Yeah,
she's a single parent.
Yes and no, technically, but she said, man, that's the comment that she made, right? Now, looking back then, I was like, no, that's impossible. Of course I can give unconditional love to my kid. Of course, like it's normal.
Yeah.
Now being a parent, Chris, although I still disagree, I understand where she was coming from.
Really?
Yeah. So for example, my wife literally, she's lost 35 kilograms, right? Kilograms, because the breastfeeding, right? She gave herself up for making sure that, because my kid, he's an allergy baby. So she had to make sure that no matter what happens, this boy will be fed correctly. He'll be comforted. And again, with women, it's internal. This human being came from their body. So they have a certain level of connection that we as men can't physically have.
Yeah.
So you can support from the outside, but they have a certain connection that you can't match. And I kind of understood it, because women, I feel like a mother will go delusional for their kid.
Yeah.
Like you see mothers, they will back their sons or their daughters regardless of whatever. Whereas men, I could see a scenario where I have to implement a bit of tough love, or I have to create a bit of space.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I don't love them, but it was just interesting, because now I kind of understand what she was saying by unconditional love. Because am I willing to go delusional for my son if he does a mad thing? Questionable. Is my wife willing to go delusional for my son if he goes a mad thing? 100%.
Wow. That's fascinating because I agree. I would like to know your friend's upbringing to see what if her dad was in her life and what type of love that her dad gave her, or lack of. No shade. If that is the case, that sounds shady. That sounds really shady. But I wouldn't say we don't give unconditional love. I say our love is different. It is unconditional, but women go ham for their child. Respectfully, men we do, but women are a different breed.
It's different.
And
it's different.
And I get it. How did you ensure that you had that bond with your son Levi? So women have that connection, and I know that I've been told when your child is born, it's important to have that skin to skin connection. But how did you ensure that bond still remains with your child?
So when it comes to that, what I learned was so just my 1 year of being a parent, I've learned 3 things, which is there's differences and similarities in fatherhood and motherhood, right? So there's biological, psychological, and I guess societal expectation that's placed on both people. Biological, that's all to do with hormones, right? So women go through hormonal changes in their body from pregnancy, first trimester, second trimester, third, then labor, and then breastfeeding. And these are caused by oxytocin, which is also known as the love hormone. And this is the hormone that builds bonding and trust, And there's also prolactin, which is called the nurture hormone. And this kind of helps with breastfeeding with the women. So already that connection is there. They go through hormonal changes. Men, although we don't go through hormonal changes, we go through hormonal shifts, right? So we actually get a decrease in testosterone and a slight increase in prolactin, right? Now, do you know how crazy that is, right? So for a man, your testosterone gets decreased just so that you can bond, because the child is so delicate, right? It's so delicate. So you have to kind of, in order for you to bond, you kind of soften yourself up to allow that to happen, And did I experience some of that? Yeah, the psychological, which is the second part, definitely, because when it comes to psychological, we're talking about nesting. If you heard of nesting?
I have, but remind me.
So nesting is pretty much where it's the preparation, right? So, okay, you're having a kid, like my wife, she immediately started, okay, cool. We need to get this. We need to get that. We need to get this. It's the preparation side of things, preparation part. And I just joined in. Like literally, I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And it's so exciting. And the funny thing is, a lot of parents, this is where the expectation or societal parts kicks in, but first time parents get a bad stick because you don't have to do all that for your kid. Don't bother getting a cot because he's barely gonna sleep in it, which is true. There's so many things that other parents will tell you not to do. But I say, like, what the heck? This is my first child. I want to have the full-on experience. I literally don't care. Even if I'm overdoing it, I'll overdo it for my first child.
No, big fact.
And in terms of expectations, that speaks more to the pressure that's put on, I guess, women and motherhood to be a good mother. Like, what is a good mother? They put pressure on themselves internally. Like, we all know being a deadbeat dad and an absent father, okay, that's a bad dad, right? But for women, being a good mother is in their heads because there's a lot of comparisons. You see someone else's kid reaching a certain milestones, and now you're wondering, oh wow, like what's going on? Do you know what I mean? And you have to constantly let them know, listen, this is our journey. Let's enjoy it as we go along.
Wow, that's such powerful. What do you think of like fatherhood clubs? Like, would you encourage people to go?
Yes,
stuff like that?
Yes. Like honestly, like everything fatherhood. Ever since being a father, it's crazy. Like, for example, when you get a car, you get a new car. All of a sudden, you're seeing that car everywhere, right? It's like that since going through the parenting process. I'm now seeing, oh wow, like we have that buggy. If I see someone else with the same buggy as ours, or I'm noticing things in other kids. With me and your wife were making comments about, certain people when it's cold, leaving their kids without their shoes and thinking, I wonder how that kid's doing. It's like, this is not something I ever thought I'd be necessarily engaging in such like vim, but that's literally how it changes you. Like you become connected in that, and you both become connected as well for this kid.
How do you have any fears of becoming a dad, and how did you overcome those fears if you felt, you know, because some people, they say when they become a dad, they're like, I remember actually, well, Tina Knowles, who's Beyonce's mum, shout out to Tina, she said that when she had Beyonce, she was just like, she looked at her and said, I'm not going to mess this up. But obviously when you're a mother, like that's your child, you know what I mean? But with dads, unfortunately, there are like deadbeat dads.
Yeah.
Some people, they just like, they walk away from their responsibilities.
Yeah.
Then 18 years later, if you become famous, they're like, yeah, I'm your dad, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, get out of here. I'm not paying for your rehab. You this, that, and the other. Had to hold my tongue. I was about to curse. But yeah, so like, is there any, like, did you have any internal kind of fears? But if you feel comfortable sharing, and if you did, how did you overcome?
I don't think I had any fear going into this whatsoever.
That's beautiful.
Honestly,
That's
like
good.
I was so prepared mentally because I've wanted this for so long, and because I wanted it for so long, it's just naturally, it came naturally for me to just play the character. Because people always ask me, oh, like, what was it like being a dad? Especially people who are expecting, like, what happens, what you do. And I was explaining to them, there's no playbook, there's no script, there's no guide. You can get information from other people and they'll tell you certain things, but end of the day, Chris, that's just theory. Like, you know, it's just theory until you have to allow yourself to go through the process, go through the sleepless night and be there throughout. This is the difference, right?
Yeah.
If you're a present father, you are there during the times of trouble, like the first 2 months, you're there.
Yeah.
But it depends on the situation. But if you're not present, then you can just come in after the kid is like, I don't know, a year.
Yeah.
You've missed out all the hardships that would actually solidify you and your partner's relationship and your bond with your kid. And come in after, okay, terrible twos is mad.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
what
about
I've
that
heard.
yet. But yeah, it's completely different. It's completely different.
Wow.
I've never had any fears whatsoever going into this endeavor at all.
No, that's beautiful, because I was going to ask in terms of like building resilience and sharing like strategies for building resilience as a father and handling life's challenges. Which
To build resilience, you have to go through hardships.
Wow.
Like you have to draw, like, audit your life.
Yeah.
Everything you've been through, like all the times you failed, all the times you felt embarrassed, or everything that's happened to you, and draw on that and be like, "Oh, I'm still here." Do you know what I mean? And now I'm having a little one who will also go through the same thing. Now you can be like, okay, if I was to redo it, what would I do differently? And now you have all these nuggets of knowledge to teach your young kid, you know, and that's amazing. That's how you build resilience. And just go, like, people go through financial troubles, you know, and that might affect parenting styles or what you can and can't do. By the end of the day, people have been having kids since the beginning of time. It's
Honestly.
not like, why is it now you need everything to be absolutely perfect in order for the kid to be okay? I don't believe that.
No, 1000%. And I feel like our generation are very open and honest to like to tell our kids. Like, I'm pretty sure the older aunties and uncles, respectfully, I feel like the history that they go through, it's very like EastEnders drama. It's like they won't say anything. They've been through a lot, and I feel like they won't share that life,
You know,
which is up to them. But it's just like, I want it to be, shout out to my mum, who's very relatable, and so is my dad. I feel like my dad's too honest. Sometimes I'm like, rah, like, you gotta get that to yourself. Like,
at least you know.
At least I know, but I'm just like, dad is actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I love this father and son bonding that we have, but you know, you can filter it down a little bit. You don't need to say everything. But I appreciate it though.
That's funny. I would have loved that. Honestly, I would have loved that. I don't like my mum. Like, when I see my my wife's relationship with her parents, it's different from mine and my parents. They're more like friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're more like friends. Whereas me, you know, my dad was a pastor. Right? So being a pastor's son, I don't know how it is. It's a different type of relationship that you have where it's not that you can't fully open up, but it's unfortunate that it's only now that I'm older that I actually understand my mum and got to know her as not just a mother, but like, as the woman. And my dad, like, when I heard this guy's story, when he finally decided to open up to me and tell me about his life, I'm like, bro, like, you're just like me.
Yeah.
You know, you've been through it just like me, but just in the 19 whatever times, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish I'd heard that earlier. I honestly wish I had learned that earlier. It probably would have changed certain things I said, like, you know, when you're getting told off, you're like, whatever, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it would have changed certain ways I thought about him, but
Mm.
in the end, I'm glad that I got to have that conversation with him.
That's
you know?
beautiful to hear, man.
That really
Honestly.
helped. Yeah.
That's so sick. I was going to ask you in terms of how do you ensure that you have time for not only yourself, but for your wife as well, to just keep that unit intact? Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of
You're speaking on work-life balance, right?
work-life balance,
Okay,
bro.
cool.
Because
So-
I was always thinking like, it's so, my mum and my family, they're always like, you know, when you have a kid, when you have a wife, and then you come home and you had to be on and this and the other. And I'm like, they're always switched on. But in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm like, is it possible after work you go, quite ignorant, go to the gym for an hour and then deal with it? But it's just like, how do you ensure that you have not only time for yourself, but for your wife, and then have your kids, your time for your kids as well, just to make sure you're at one with yourself?
So
Peace of mind.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to work-life balance, that is what I'm struggling with the most, right? Because the way I'm wired, I go fully in onto whatever I'm doing. So work requires a different version of me than home life requires. So work is, you know, productivity, being analytical, focused, and it's a continuous learning, because obviously working in tech, you have to continuously grow your knowledge because you grow as the industry is growing. When you come home now, I have to switch off that mode and get into, okay, dad mode. They need flexibility. They need me to help. I need to do stuff around the house. I need to plan stuff for the weekend. And time for myself, I'd slot that in. I have to slot time for myself in, which is bad, but it's something that I'm working on. But it's tough, like work-life balance. That's something that I would love to meet other dads and really just see how they do it. You know, see how other people do it and how they kind of like arrange certain things, because it depends. Like some people, I'm pretty sure some people can do it. It's not like something that cannot be done. But for me, I struggle with it a lot.
It is.
It's just how I'm wired.
Big facts. Dang.
And it's a lot because since being a father, I've been a father for a year now, right?
Yeah.
And I've learned 4 key things. And there's 4 things that you can categorize it like this, right? So there's presence, provision, protection, and patience, right? So when you talk about presence, we're talking about your aura, the aura of being a father, the aura of being a dad, like your presence. You know, when you leave the house, your presence is felt because you're not there. When you come back to the house, your presence is felt because you're there. You know, because when I come back home, the wife, she's relieved. Oh, finally he's back. Why? Because she knows I'm gonna help her out with the kid, and she's been with him. He's been doing madnesses for a whole day. Now I can take the load off. My son, he's excited. Why? Because he's like, oh, this guy, I know he's gonna take me out. He's gonna let me touch things I'm not supposed to touch. You know, being risky, which gets you into hot waters. But still, like, I think it's important for kids to have that different variation as well. Like, my wife is more logical, protective, as she normally is, and I'm just a bit more relaxed and laid back. That's just naturally how I am. It's a good balance. But presence is important. It's like your brand. Like when we step out, us 3, people recognize, okay, this is your family. That's the brand that you put forward. Then there's provision, right? So when it comes to provision, don't let anyone tell you differently. Finance is important, okay? You need to have your P's in check when it comes to having a kid. Don't just go into it blind thinking, you know what, we're gonna have a kid, it's gonna be all right. That's not logically sane, and it's quite selfish, because that's going to fall back on family members. You're going to have to look after your kid when you're not there because you don't have the means to do so, you know? And provisioning is not even just finance only, it's also opportunity, right? I want to give my child an opportunity to do things that I wasn't able to do. You know, opportunity to go places, to go on holiday, to meet certain places, to be exposed to certain things. Like, those are opportunity and skills that will probably give them more benefit than school, perhaps, you know?
Big facts.
And so that's provision. Then there's protection, right?
Talk about it.
So protection, I'm not even just talking about physical, okay, like, you know, I'm the guy, I'm the man, I'm at home, no one can touch my family. That's not the protection I'm talking about. the main thing that I've learned when it comes to protection is protecting your relationship, right? Now, I told you about the differences that women go through, the changes, right? That affects them internally to the point where if postpartum depression does kick in, that can affect your relationship. How you speak to each other.
Yeah.
You're both stressed.
Yeah.
It's you two versus the kid. But if she's not on your side,
yeah,
what's going on? And I've known people that get stressed out and they just need space.
Yeah.
I spoke to one guy who his wife was going through postpartum depression, and he said the craziest thing happened. She literally said, "Bro," she told him, "Open the window. I want to chuck this baby out."
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
And I'm like, and this is before I had my kids. So I was thinking, bro, like, I need to make sure we don't get to that stage. And I spoke to my wife numerous times. I don't ever want to hear you say that.
No.
But that's what I mean by protection. You need to see these signs.
Yeah.
You need to be able to tell, okay, I see what's happening there, and turn off that flame.
Yeah.
Not only just that, there's also protection from, unfortunately, I would say unsolicited comments from others, right?
Oof.
Right?
Yeah, no, big facts.
From family members, from friends. And it doesn't necessarily affect me. Like, it doesn't affect me, but I know it can affect her. Certain things that people say, she will internalize it. And it's like, even ways of parenting styles. Your parents, they've done things a certain way. We're trying to do things our way. And I had to learn to really take action before it gets to a certain stage.
Yeah.
Because you see it. You have to be there to protect that from happening. Because at the end of the day, you're a unit, you know?
Yeah.
And then patience.
Yeah.
Oh, like, you're playing the long game. Yeah. I speak to people, be like, oh, you know, it goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Just the other day, he was a small pick-me, as you're saying, and all of a sudden, like, he's 18 and he's going to college.
Yeah.
I'm not at that stage yet, but I can see now, when I look back at the pictures, on my days, the other day I was in labor.
Yeah.
Like, we were screaming, labor, it was crazy. And now he's over there, like, trying to play tactics between who can pick him up and how he can sleep a bit later, and it's crazy. So you need to have the patience to allow yourself to enjoy the process of parenting, because you can't always have good days. I told my wife, let's take it day by day, week by week. Might have a bad day tomorrow. We'll have an excellent day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today, you know.
That's it, because it sounds like you're very intentional with your time and you're very present. And that's what you need to be as a father. Oh, fatherhood is no joke, boy.
It's no joke. It's really no joke, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But it's do you yourself, like, you want to be a dad?
Yeah. You know what? I do. And sometimes I'm like, I don't. Because, like, when I see kids, I'm like, oh, it'd be amazing to raise a kid to this and the other. But when they play up, I'm just like, rah, like, this is too much.
Yeah.
And, you know, these days, you know, back in the day, let's be honest, back in the day, it was spare the rods for the child. Yeah. So you used to get beats.
Yeah. But, I remember my days.
I personally, I don't see myself, like, beating my child. I don't see any kind of benefit. I you know, some people, they send their child back to the motherland to straighten them out. Yeah. But you know what? Each their own. But I think fatherhood is such a big responsibility, and I'll be honored to have a kid. But I'm just praying in Jesus' name that I'll be, like, present, and just kind of, like, all those fears of familiar patterns that I've seen from parenthood won't follow me. You know, I'm just hoping that I live up to my kids' expectation, and that I hope that I'll be there for them mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, and I'll have a good tribe with me. If I feel like I'm lacking in that area, if my kid doesn't feel confident opening up on something, they could be like, okay, let me talk to Uncle John about something. I know my tribe is safe. Like, obviously, you're my cousin, so just be like, that's calm.
That's what I mean by a support system. You know, it's good. Okay, cool. If things are happening in your household, cool. You can just send your son to your brothers. And, you know, but as long as your whole family have, like, they're all aligned in a way, because I can't take him over there and then he's having a time of his life and there's no consequences to what he's done. And he comes back and then he's still the same. And it's like, no, like, he was meant to go there and get a different type of grilling, but maybe in that way it'll teach you in another perspective kind of thing. But I think you'll make a great dad. Like,
thanks, man.
I'm not saying this for you to be like, it's nothing to necessarily be worried about. It's natural. It's just it's part of life. You know? And I think if you find the right person, this whole process just becomes easier.
because I feel like many people, I don't know if I should, I'll say this.
Right.
Many people are like just creating broken homes, not to judge them, but like certain celebrities are known to have like 11 kids and intentionally just sleep around and create
Right.
homes. And it's just kind of, it's not really wise, because I feel like, say it's Christmas and you're, how do you allocate time for each one, do you know? So yeah, I think I'll be excited. But it would be weird to have this like little kid like running around and be like, rah, like this is my DNA, do you know?
That's it.
This is my child. Like, it's weird. I just can't wait to be like, when people ask me, oh, do you want to go to this activity? I just like, no, I can't. I'm a dad.
Yeah,
Like,
that is an
use that
excuse. And I might feel shameless, but I've used this excuse
sick.
so many times.
Yeah.
It gets me out of things that I don't necessarily need or want to go to. I just say, listen, I can't let my son's not feeling well. I'm not going to make it. And it's fine. And I don't feel no type of way about it, because I'd much rather spend time at home with my kid than go to whatever activity I'm purposely trying to skip.
Like, literally, I'm going to be saying it and they're going to be like, Chris, your child's like 21. He's a taxpayer. I'm gonna be like, I need to look after my kid.
Yeah, parents will still do that. They'll still do that.
Yeah.
Like, in an African household, you're still a kid no matter what age you are. Like, you could be 42. Like, your mom still sees you as their child.
Wow, that's crazy.
They still see you as a child.
How do you, and this is one of my last questions, how do you master the art of letting go in terms of not being too attached to your kid in the future, and just kind of respect them to have their own private life, yet being there for them? Because when you raise a kid and they're like 18 or 20 and whatever, and they're in college and now they want to live their own life, which is true, but it's kind of like, like you really want to make sure you could be there for them. And I guess maybe motherhood is different because they will struggle more of letting go, but as fathers, potentially, this stereotypical, they'll be like, okay, well, there you go.
That's a tough one, but I kind of like relate more to the Eubanks, the boxers. Right. So the Eubanks senior, he kind of wanted to mold his son in his image, like totally, to the point where I think it kind of suffocated him, and he tried to detach himself from his dad, and that's what caused the issue in their relationship. Now, I understand that, yes, I'm me and I want my son to be a certain way, but at the end of the day, he's going to make his own choices, his own decisions, and I have to respect it. As long as the foundation, the principles are there, and if that's okay, then whatever he decides to do, that's him. And you need to allow them to make their own mistakes. Like, listen, pretty much, we raised ourselves, because my parents, they came to this country, right, for a better life for us. Normally, that's normally how it goes, right? Depending on what generation you process you're in.
Facts.
So they were so busy dealing with what they had to deal with, like back home and over here, to the point where they didn't really see what we're doing and what we get up to and stuff. So we kind of, me being the oldest, I had to kind of take in what they're saying, and also take in what I'm learning from school, what I'm learning from the streets, and find a way to like create a vacuum for myself to understand, okay, this is how I should operate. Right. And that's back in my day, which is, when I say my day, that's like, what, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, whatnot. My son's day is completely it's going to be different. And I might not be able to relate to some of the stuff that they're doing in 10, 15, 20 years time. But I still need to understand the principle stays the same. As long as he has a good foundation, I know he'll always come back. And I'll respect his space, and I'll let him understand, listen, I'm okay with you making your own choices, just there's certain decisions you make that are kind of irreparable. And there's other ones where it's like, you needed to go through that to learn. Because like I said before, you can't give advice if you haven't been through certain things, because otherwise it's just theory. Like, you need hands-on practical experience to really empathize with the next person and tell them, I've been through it. I know what you're saying. I know what you're going through. I can empathize with you.
Bruh. Ooh, John.
Yes, sir.
Listen, you played no games, bro.
I know, for real. Listen, this is something I'm passionate about. Like,
I can tell,
I'm
man.
honestly, like, I tell people I'm a dad when I meet them. I've since been a dad, I actually go meet other dads and we talk. And you know what? One thing I notice about dads, I've worked in so many different places, and men don't tell you that, oh, by the way, I'm a dad. They won't tell you that they have a kid. Like, it's just not something we speak about. It's not, unless you ask them. If you ask him, oh, you have a kid, they'll be like, yeah. And then when you start asking them, oh, tell me about the kid, or tell me about your kid, their faces light up. Their faces light up. They start talking with joy. And I'm thinking, wow, like, so obviously there's spaces for women. Women don't need to tell us about motherhood. We understand. We know, like it's there. Like you understand where to go if you wanted to know stuff about motherhood. But when it comes to fatherhood, there's not much conversation there because we just don't speak about it. And I would love to break that cycle.
Break it, man. Honestly, and I agree with that. Especially those active fathers, but those who are deadbeat ones, they're gonna try. Yeah, they're there.
Yeah,
My kids are just they're 10 and 8. That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay, you're the father of the year. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, wow. Honestly, nah, John, you've laid some gems in this episode. Honestly, thank you so much for coming in to Searching for Myself podcast. If you have do you want to plug in anything? Or do you want people to?
I never actually got far to this stage. Never actually thought about plugging anything. But what should I plug in my IG?
Yeah, it's completely up to you if you're comfortable.
I don't even know. I forgot. Like, if anything, just put it in the descriptions below or something. I don't know the handle.
Calm. That's
I'll
calm.
get it wrong. But
That's all good. You got things cooking in the future.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Bruh, yeah, no, we're gonna get you back.
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
Nah, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching Searching for Myself podcast. Remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast. Yeah, man, this has been an amazing episode, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, God bless.